Seattle Seahawks on the road for Week 2, off to Detroit, where they should expect to hear that old AC/DC song about big parties blasting through the speakers.
So they fake it and go inside. They fake from their own 17-yard line and pick up the first down.
Dan Campbell setting the tone already for this season. Anything goes.
Seattle and the rest of the NFL get it after last week. Dan Campbell is upper class high society, so his ballrooms are always full. But will all those dirty balls that were bouncing to the left and to the right last week end up being held in Detroit's hands again this week?
Intercepted off the deflection. Brian Branch, the rookie, ties the game with his first NFL touchdown.
Proved to be such wonderful fun, but we've seen it before. Big opening week win gets followed by a dud. The Lions do have a QB that looked good, taking on a defense that struggled against the pass, though. Detroit's Jared Goff comes in off a nice week 1, mid-90s rating, over 250 yards, a touchdown, no picks, all on the road at Arrowhead.
Jared Goff in the middle. It's caught. Too shy of the first down for Khalif Raymond.
The pass defense that he faces this week gave up 334 yards to Matthew Stafford. Hawks secondary didn't face any star wideouts, but they made stars out of Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua, 119 yards each. Never said that dude's name before.
Into traffic, and Nacua with the catch and the toe tap at the 47.
The pass-catching group Seattle's DBs are contending with this week does feature a star. Amon-Ra St. Brown, still Goff's go-to, scored versus KC, was thrown to the most.
Goff across St. Brown to the end zone. Detroit touchdown.
St. Brown bounces between the slot and the outside. Seattle's cornerbacks don't travel, so St. Brown's most common starting point may have to do with where they think Waldo is. Last week, it was Trey Brown for Seattle. He covers the right side. He gave up over 70 yards on 3 catches.
Nacua with the catch.
Wide receiver Josh Reynolds. He led Detroit with 80 yards.
Goff looking to the middle and come back and catch. And on the run is Reynolds.
Seattle cornerback Reek Woolen locked down his side of the field just fine. And if Seattle gets rookie cornerback Devin Weatherspoon back this week, he was close last week, it could shore some things up. They also have to put a little heat on the QB in week 2. Versus Stafford, 38 pass attempts, not one sack. Only hit him twice.
And Stafford holds it just long enough.
Seahawks have to play the run well in this contest. They did so well enough versus LA, but no one can blame Motor City Kitty fans for feeling like their O-face hasn't reached its potential yet.
First down, spinning and turning. Gibbs threw a hard hit. Stays on his feet.
Gibbs took the back seat in their opener to David Montgomery, only got 7 carries, 6 yards a pop, and this feeling like, oh man, he's about to go.
Gibbs the back running to the right, to the edge, and Gibbs stays on his feet, gets the first down.
Montgomery was effective enough. He's a grinder, 3.5 a run on 21 chances, long of 8, but he scored.
Montgomery with some momentum to the end zone for the touchdown.
Hawks have some fixing to do on both sides of the ball. Geno Smith has to try and get back on track after only mustering 112 yards passing on 4.3 yards per attempt.
Smith, pressure comes late, and it's incomplete.
He didn't get great protection, 2 sacks taken, 7 QB hits, a pressure rate over 30.
5-man rush, Smith's in trouble. The pressure coming from Byron Young.
What do we say?
He also saw both his tackles leave the game hurt. A key battle up front. Whoever they start at right tackle versus Detroit defensive end Aiden Hutchinson. Lions pass rush started the year with a donut in the sack column, but they pressured Patrick Mahomes over 40% of his passes. 30 is considered high. They hit him 7 times. That's a healthy total. Hutch hitting him 3 times alone.
Mahomes retreats, puts it up top for Gray, and it's incomplete.
Will the referees allow Seattle's right tackle to line up in the fullback position and give him a head start each snap? I don't know, I'm just asking. So long as Cheech isn't given the job of watching the line this week, the playing field should be a little more even for Hutchinson.
Full start. Offense number 74.
And there you see Jawan Taylor playing slot receiver. Finally got busted on one.
How fast am I going? I think you're pulled over, man. Detroit's new look secondary takes on Geno and company with momentum on their side. They held up well against the best in the game. Patrick Mahomes was still out there doing Patrick Mahomes things, and they held him to under 230 yards passing, under 6 yards per attempt, and a sub-80 rating.
Mahomes chased by Hutchinson, throws on the run. Nobody there at all.
Of course, the targets in this game will be tougher to cover, but rookie wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba didn't do much in Week 1, 13 yards. Wide receiver Tyler Lockett left hurt, so have to track his status. And then there's their other 1,000K guy from last year, DK Metcalf. He at least had his way once for a TD versus the Rams.
Floats it for Metcalf all along, touchdown, Seattle.
And yeah, decided to double down on it. But you know it's not right? Maybe that's why I'm doubling down. 2 negatives make a positive. Metcalf did most of his work from the left side. He'll be up against Detroit cornerback Jerry Jacobs a lot. He saw 6 targets versus KC, only allowed 13 yards.
Deep shot downfield towards Richie James, incomplete. Lions had that well covered. Jerry Jacobs running with him.
Seahawks would like to see Kenneth Walker get more tokes along the ground. 64 yards, 5.3 a run. Just can't fall so far behind if they want to use him more.
One of them carries the football and gets some room to the edge. A stiff arm thrown by Walker as he goes out of bounds.
Lions rush defense Walker is battling with gave up some big runs to Mahomes on broken plays, but overall they took care of business. 90 yards allowed, 3.9 per carry is an Ice Cube kind of day.
Here's Isaiah Pacheco to the left.
Someone wrote, someone slept through math class. Yeah, and English and history. I'm using 1,000K guy as my thing now. Don't know what that panel is going to do with this as I read this, but I predict a knee-jerk overreaction to Week 1 with all Lions picks. Meantime, I know there are some 12s out there that will call for a Seattle rebound in the comments section. Welcome to relevancy, Detroit.